Hey everyone, this is Megan Elizabeth from AboveRubyStudio.com. Today's Tuesday tutorial is going to be a thankful, grateful, everyday with a little bit of a fall theme scrapbook layout. And I don't think I've done a layout in a little while for everyone, so I wanted to get on doing that one again. I think it's been about a month. So I have two cartridges here, Artbooking and Artfully Sent. They are both close to my heart exclusive cartridges. Artbooking is more scrapbooking centric. Artfully Sent is more card making, but I want to use both to create a really fabulous layout today. Now, without getting into too many talking details, I am going to be using the Pathfinding Workshop on the Go Scrapbooking Kit. And I love this because there's so many really cool things that are included. And if you're not familiar with the Workshop on the Go kit, without going into too much, it is a completely diagrammed step-by-step instruction exactly where to cut on what papers, with what, how to place it, where to glue it. I mean, detailed instructions in an easy to follow little pamphlet. I mean, it's not extensive, and it tells you exactly what materials you need, including like even the size, stamping blocks you're going to use, and everything. Now, they're great because they include so much, including an exclusive stamp set only found in the Workshop on the Go kits. I love the Thankful. The pumpkin, which is actually in the Artbooking, so you can cut out this pumpkin and then stamp it. Smile, it's the best day ever. So that really transcends above and beyond Thanksgiving fall. And then I'm so glad to live in a world where there are seasons. And again, that can transcend to anything. And the heart and it just so much. And then there's also the Pathfinding assortment, really cool buttons and cork and wooden kind of things. And then the golden blingy, 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 sparkly gems. They're really blingy. All right, so no more talking. Let's start creating. I have my Cricut Expression, and yes, I did get the all-new Explorer. I am really excited to be working with ProvoCraft again, Cricut again. Not actually for the company. I'm not endorsed by the company, but as far as like in communication with them. I'm going to start with Artfully Sent, because we're going to cut out two items. I'm going to cut out the wreath, and then I'm actually going to cut out one of the cards. So let me grab my cutting mat here. And all these papers are in the Pathfinding kit. So now is the perfect time to kind of grab that up. You can create so many fun things for Thanksgiving and just your everyday scrapbooking and card making, really, with this. So Artfully Sent is installed. Let's grab my overlay. And where is my little handbook? Here it is. Nope, underneath here. All right, load the mat in. I'm going to start by cutting, it's a sentiment, and then it's a shift, and it's the letter V. I'm going to make this 4 inches. Oh, that's 4.5. 4 inches. Blade depth, speed, pressure, all good. And we're going to cut. And we probably can use both pieces, the actual negative and positive image here, but we'll see as we kind of go along what happens. It's going to cut that out. And we'll unload. Oh, you know what? I lied. We're going to load that back in. Hold on. Because I want to cut that wreath out in this too. I used the wreath on a card recently. If you go back in Above Ruby Studio, I made this little wreath. I'm going to use real dial size for this guy, because if I were to cut him out in the size I wanted, it recommends to cut it out at 7 inches to be proportionate on the card. But I don't want it to be proportionate on the card. I want it to be a true 4 inches. So I'm going to switch this over to Scene. Real dial size is on. And I want a 4-inch wreath measuring from highest point to lowest point, not in proportion to the card size. All right? Real dial size, shift, and the letter V again, because it's on Scene, and it should come up in here. All right, unload the mat there. So that's our Artfully Sent portion. I'll switch this out to Artbooking. Here's our cartridge. There's our overlay. Love this font on this cartridge so much. So much. We're using page 73 and 72. I am going to cut the pumpkin out. May or may not use it. Not exactly sure. Again, I'm going to make sure real dial size is on for this, and it says to cut it out at 1 3/4 inches. So let's go down to, on the stamp set, 1 3/4 inches. And let's see, it is Icon. And it is not the shift, it is just the letter N. And it should come up right there. There it is. Cut. Whoops, how about we load in a mat? Load mat. Let's go all the way down here. And then at 2 1/4 inches, I'm going to cut out the photo mat 1. It's the shift, and then it's this 10 things guy. It's for this one right here. And it should come up just fine. There it is. 2 1/4 inches, real dial size still, and cut. With the Artbooking and Artfully scent, every button is designed so that you can create an entire card or entire scrapbook layout at one size, and everything will be in proportion for you so you don't have to think. So if I wanted to do this sugar and spice with the cute little chevron-y pattern and do the cute little flowers and the sentiment, I would literally just set my dial size on 11 inches, real dial size off, okay, and cut out each of these things at 11 inches and make the scrapbook layouts it suggests. Really, really easy. You just put in the papers that you want to use. And I love that about these cartridges. Okay, so I think I cut out, you know what, there is one more element that I wanted to do. And I'm hoping, if I go back to load mat, I'm going to come down here. Actually, we're going to go right in the middle here. All right. That should be good. There's really adorable little borders and trim items in here. And that's what I'm looking at right now. Nope. I'm gonna use the border here on the same one. So I'm gonna go to border function, real dial size, and turning off for this. It's going to measure from highest point to lowest point, so it's not going to be a super long border. Keep that in mind. Let's see. I'm actually, since I'm turning that off, I'm gonna go to 11 inches and let it cut it out for me, since real dial size is off, and it should give me a nice size border here, right here with that guy. And let's see, 11 inches border, and then it's this one. Or just hit cut. Yeah, and then that's gonna make a nice little border for you. All right, you know what? Yeah, okay. Unload. So I have a bunch of fun elements to work with from my Cricut. This is caught up just a little bit, so you want to be careful not to rip it. There it is. So cute. There's my border. Now this is not exactly the same shape. There is not a recommended, but you can see it's very darn close. And I measured it so that it would be close, knowing that Cricut measures from highest point to lowest point, which is why we did real dial size. But it's not the exact shape. It doesn't give you a page number or a size to cut it out at. I'm faking it. I'm making this work with Artbooking. The same with the oval. The oval is actually disproportionate. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. I'm not sure why they didn't design this particular stamp set completely to cut out all the shapes, but it does do, I'm making it work. So you can always kind of look at that, even though if it doesn't tell you, you know, this coordinates with this. Look at the other shapes and see what you can make work. You might be surprised. All right, so I have all these really cool papers, and I'm using champagne, I'm using colonial white, I am also using lagoon, olive, terracotta, autumn terracotta, not autumn, yeah, autumn terracotta. And let's see, this is champagne. What I cut everything out in is colonial white. So we're going to use champagne as our cardstock base, as our 12 by 12 base. And what we're going to do right now, photo mat and a couple other elements that we're using our pattern papers for. And then everything else is going to be stamped. So let's do our olive is going to be part of our photo mat. We're going to do a 4 by 6 photo. So start out at 6 inches. Actually, it's 6 1/4, I'm sorry, and then 4 1/4. So that will be for our 4x6 photo. And then I'm going to take one other pattern here, this one. There it is. And then this is going to be 6 1/2 inches by 4 1/2 inches. All right, and then that will go right on top of there, all right? Now what I'm taking is a couple strips, 2 inches. We're gonna just decorate. So there's one 2-inch going short, got that guy going. Now I'm going to take this awesome pattern here, and this is very close to the same color of the champagne mixed with, I believe it's the Autumn Terracotta. Might be Gold Rush. Actually, I think that might be Gold Rush. It's hard to tell sometimes when it's in a pattern. When it's be 8x8. Just so you know what I'm doing here. 8 inches. 8 inches. And then there's this really cool green chevron strip on the end. It's actually the identification label. We're going to cut that off first so that we don't mess anything up with that, because I am going to use that on our page as a border. And then, and our Glue Glider Pro High Tech, I'm just going to do a few easy strips here. And we're out. You need to replace it. You just pop out the cartridge. Didn't realize that was empty. I'm going to go ahead and replace it with the Permatac cartridge. If you look on the back of the cartridges, Permatac is one of their most popular brands, adhesive strength. It does paper photos, coated and texture paper, chipboard, it does ribbon, it does foam, wood, glass, plastic, metal, and styrofoam. It does a ton of stuff. It's one of the most versatile. High Tack is for photos, coated texture paper, chipboard, grunge board, ribbon, and even foam. Repositionable, that's really just for your papers and photos, you know, make it a temporary thing. And then your Extreme Tack, which happens to be my favorite, and they don't really recommend using it on paper because it's entirely really too strong for paper. It really is. But I love it. And then it does like everything else. Everything else from metal and glass and wood and fleece and foam and, you know, just a ton of stuff. And I just love it. So I love Blue Arts. Choo! Okay, place that in. All right. So my 8x8 is going to go just kind of off to the side here. And I'm making this... Oh, I forgot to cut out... Oh, well, I'm going to use the stamp. Never mind. Never mind. Ignore me. I don't know what I'm talking about today. All right. So I'm making this go off the edge. Kind of this way. And then I'm just playing with some of these papers. So I know this is going here and here. And then actually what I'm going to do with these 2 strips here, I am going to cut them off by hand because they don't need to be straight. I'm going to tuck them. Don't have an exact length for you, not sure. They're 2 inches wide, and then I'm going to angle, I'm going to do like a little, my own pennant. So I'm just going to cut a triangle into the center, make a meet in the center. And I'm going to layer them. And you know what? I just don't like the way that lagoon looks. Or glacier. I'm not, again, not sure. Alone. So I'm going to tuck those in by myself. Slightly overlapping each other. Actually, more than slight. It's pretty severe overlap, to be honest with you. Like that. And this did happen to work out for me. I'm placing this guy up here, and then my thankful is going to go in that strip. So let's start by doing some stamping. figure out what we need here. I'm gonna set this aside. So I pulled out Glacier, Champagne, Gold Rush, Olive, and Autumn Terracotta. I'm gonna start with Olive for Thankful. And that's gonna go on here. And when I do really long, flimsy stamps, I like to set the stamp down on my surface and just kind of let it fall naturally and hopefully pretty straight. Then I pick it up with my stamp block like that, so then it's straight on there instead of, you know, kind of wonky in any way, shape, or form. Olive is my color of choice, and I'm just going to press it onto my stamp. Press it right onto my stamp like that. And it's going on my border. And then anywhere it doesn't fill in, I'll just fill it in by hand. If I missed a big chunk, like right there on that T, like it's really solid over there. So let's see. Fill those areas in myself to make it look a little more solid like the rest of it does. Pretty cool. And easy. I love that. Isn't that cool? All right, we'll set that guy aside. That's going on there. Then I have my I'm so glad to live in a world where there are seasons. Get a really good solid impression on there. And again, this is not meant to go on here, but it's very, very close in shape that I'm making it work. You could also ink the edges with these coordinating colors of all the papers. You know me and my ink and edges. I'm a fan. Autumn Terracotta for our pumpkin is where we're heading with this. And we're just cutting out the we're just stamping the pumpkin layer, essentially. So, you know what? Let's ink some edges here with the olive for the stem. We're just going to go right on there, get some of that olive green. Just like that. Now we have Autumn Terracotta. It's going to go right down on there. Booyah. Love that. Doesn't that look great? That looks awesome. All right. Let's do a little inking on here. Let's grab Gold Rush on our wreath. I'm just going to kind of brush it on the ink pad and just give it some life. Just dabbling it on there. Gives it some highs and lows. Pretty awesome. You could even do a little bit of olive on there too. Get a couple colors going. Or even a little bit of Lagoon or Glacier. Those are colors that you could pull out. You know, there's some other colors in here. You could pull those out as well. So the purpose of this guy here is for my journaling, which is pretty cool. If you take a card that, you know, is meant to be sent, folded in half, whatever, cut out at another size, and you cut it out smaller, you can use it as a journal card, journal tag, etc. So that's where I went with that. Let's get all these pieces put together now, shall we? And finish our layout for today. All right, so I know this is going here, so I can just, whoops, that didn't go in all the way. 2 strips. I have my one little strip that can go here, and you might want to really figure out what's going where before you start cutting other papers, because I did start doing this and now I'm not using it per se as big as I thought. I thought I would use them going both directions. I'm not doing that now, so it's really up to you. Actually, I'm just going to fold that over, keep it really nice and clean and straight, and then I'll just adhere that on the back. So one little adhesive dot from our glue glider. Perfect. I'm going to take some adhesive up here. That's going to go right there. thankful. It's going right across the top with a nice finished edge. Okay, this is going to go right on here, and I'm going to pop it up using some You Cut It foam. This is also it's made by Glue Arts, and it's in the Megan Elizabeth Embellishment Combo Pack. It is still available. You can pick it up at Crafty Corner and Above Ruby Studio. And then I'm making sure that the adhesive, there's enough room that I can slide my photo in so the adhesive isn't over my photo mat. There's that. And then our little pumpkin's going to go down here. I'm just going to do him flat on. Right on down here. I want to grab a few other assortment things, and then I have the little heart, which I thought about putting up here inside our wreath, but I don't know if it's going to distract too much. I don't think it is. I think I'm going to do that. We're going to use the little heart right there. And we won't make it so bold. We'll do it with Gold Rush. Instead of Autumn Terracotta, it's a little bit lighter. So it won't be quite as harsh as like what that pumpkin looks like. And you could even do like generational stamping. So like do the really harsh bright color on, you know, on something else first and then stamp it on. But we're just going to go for it. Cute. Very cute. So these are all from this set, included with the Pathfinding Workshop on the Go kit. Cute little acorns. They're adorable. And we could actually do generational stamping with those guys, and that will look perfect. So we're going to do one really solid going off this way. And then we're going to do one more kind of overlapping, but kind of tying into the heart this way. That looks perfect. Perfect. Okay. Now, I have these fun assortment elements here. I'm going to dump some of these out. They already have adhesive on them, okay? And they're cork and wood, and here's that cute little owl. There's more acorns, a pumpkin. Here's a little bit more chevron. So let's take the chevron guy. I like our little acorn too, because I can tie in the acorns from the top. You can do a lot. You can really have fun with these guys. We'll just tie the acorn in on this side. And then we're going to take the little heart as well, because it's a different size. Kind of like get 3 sizes in instead of 3. Do the heart right there. And then some gold bling, and we're going to call it a day. Tiny ones up here. Okay. And that should do it for today's thankful fallish scrapbook layout. I really hope you enjoyed today's Tuesday tutorial, and as always are enjoying the moments. There are still amazing giveaways going on at AboveRubyStudio.com, and I hope that you just feel very blessed and thankful today. I know I do. All right, bye-bye.